So how do we figure out what the actual resistance of all of these different resistors with all these different color codes are? And if you haven't figured this out already, I'm a huge fan of color coding, and I may or may not actually arrange my closet by the color code for resistors. Who can say? Now, when we're looking at our resistor, we can tell what the theoretical value is by looking at the colors on the resistors. You're going to notice that there are three colors close together. That's going to be the front of the resistor, and there's a little gap, and that's the back of the resistor. So band A, or the first resistor, first color code I should say, is going to give us the first digit in our resistance. The second band gives us the second digit. Basically, those are the significant figures. The third band is going to be what we call the multiplier. Another way to think about this is how many zeros you stick at the end of your resistance. And the final color over here, the one that's kind of separated from everyone else, is called the tolerance band. And that means how far off the actual resistance of that resistor can be, and for it to still be considered functioning properly. So basically, you're going to see these digits and, like I said, the number of zeros, and here is the color code with all the numbers for it. So let's do some quick practice here. So let's go ahead and start with our first resistor, which is green, blue, orange, and gold. Okay. Then we're going to have a resistor that is green, blue, red, and gold. Then we've got a yellow, purple, brown, and silver, and finally an orange, white, yellow, and silver resistor. So let's start at the top resistor over here. All right, when we're working on this one, the first digit is going to be our green, which is a 5. Then we're going to look at the blue, which is 6. The orange, which tells us how many zeros, and the orange is 3, so that's 1, 2, and we'll get a third a 0 in there. And the units of resistance is always ohms. Looking at the final one, we're going to see that it is gold, and the gold tells us that the actual resistance that we measure needs to be within 5% of the coding for the resistor to be working properly. So we'd call that plus or minus 5% when we were writing out what this resistance is. Next up, we've got our green, blue, red, gold. So green is still 5. The blue, once again, is going to be 6. This time the red means we only have 2 zeros. So 0, 0. And again, it's in ohms. We have our final resistance tolerance band over here, and since that is gold, that's going to tell us that it is plus or minus 5%. Okay. And now we've got 2 more resistors. So we've got our yellow, purple, brown, silver. So yellow we can see is 4, and the purple is going to be a 7. And brown is 1, so we add 1, 0. Again, it's in ohms. And since we have a silver tolerance band, it's plus or minus 10%. So this one could be off by as much as 47 ohms above or below the 470 in order to be considered to still be working properly. And then finally, we get our last resistor, which is our orange 3, white is 9, and yellow is 4. So 1, 2, 3, and finally 4 zeros. And as always, resistance is in ohms. Okay, I went a little psycho on the zeros there. That ain't right. Not sure why I did that, but that should just be 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, because that is so not blue. That's definitely yellow. And that should be in ohms, and that's plus or minus 5%. I'm sorry, plus or minus 10% for the silver. Now, Your you will be able to do this on a test situation pretty easily because your actual equation sheet has this information on the back. And if you zoom in a little bit, you can see that we get the resistor with the 4 different bands, and you know what to look for. So the colors are the same all over the place. Okay, so the colors mean the same things, the same number. Just what you do with the colors is different. And then at the final one is our tolerance band. Now, full disclosure, the one you currently have that's printed out for you, it looks a lot more like this. I am updating the resistor to look a little bit different, look like the nice one. And so you will see it more like this on the actual exam. And with that, thank you very much.